I don't know how much you know about the JNF, but it's one of the most racist bodies in Israel, which, as I said, taking the land of the refugees and building for the Jewish people. And if you can look at the website of the JNF, it is saying that they are proposed to protect the land of the Jewish people. They don't sell lands for Arabs, even they are citizens of Israel.
The Jewish National Fund, or JNF, was founded at the World Zionist Congress in 1901 for the purpose of acquiring land and property for exclusive use by Jewish people. This was part of creating a Jewish state in Palestine. The Jewish National Fund covers up this history of the colonization of Palestine by planting trees and parks on stolen land and destroyed Palestinian villages. Between its founding in 1901 and the founding of the State of Israel in 1948, the JNF compiled information about Palestinian land and people. These village files included topographical maps, aerial photos, detailed information about villages, families, natural resources, and resistors to British and Zionist colonization. This information was first used by the Jewish National Fund to purchase land at exploitative prices that allowed them to control resources like water and fertile land. Starting in the 1930s, the information was also used by the Zionist militia to target resistance. In 1948, the JNF village files were used as intelligence to forcibly displace Palestinians from villages and desirable land. Over 750,000 Palestinians were displaced during the Nakba, or catastrophe. According to historian Ilan Pape, in a matter of 7 months, 531 villages were destroyed and 11 urban neighborhoods emptied. The mass expulsion was accompanied by massacres, rape, and the imprisonment of men in labor camps for periods of over a year. This was the birth of the Zionist State of Israel. Between 1948 and 1950, the State of Israel and the Jewish National Fund acquired the land and property that belonged to Palestinians displaced by the Nakba. 72% of Jewish National Fund land was acquired after May 1948. These acquisitions were illegal under the Geneva Convention.
In this area that we visit today, this park, for example, the USA Park and the British Park, is totally clean from Arabs or from Palestinian villages. And dozens of villages were here in this area. It wasn't empty, like sometimes people could say. It was much of life was here and stopped suddenly at 1948. From Ajur, you can find a big community living in Aida and the Heshi refugee camps in Bethlehem. Zakaria, again, the biggest families and most of the people of Zakaria living in the Heshi refugees camp. The JNF will not admit that they administrate lands of refugees. It's a terrible thing that you're taking lands of refugees. Of course, according to the Israeli law, this land was confiscated and the Israelis decided that doesn't belong anymore to anyone, it belongs to the state. This policy doesn't make this true or fact. The fact that this land belongs to the refugees, and most of the refugees having even papers, but again, papers not the only thing, the only evidence. People can see the land and they can remember that this place is their land, and people can know each other and they know where exactly was the land of each family.
In the 1950s, the British JNF and UK government partnered to build the JNF British Park on Ajur and Zakaria villages that were ethnically cleansed and then destroyed in 1948. Following from the indomitable spirit and resistance of Palestinians, together we can stop them.